Hey there, today I'm here with the 2002 Western Wendigo, which is a brand new turbocharged inline-6 or VR6 powered, off-road oriented, removable top SUV, which makes a really nice addition to the Western lineup. Now, these so-called removable tops do not actually function at the moment, but you can easily see where the panel lines for them are. Anyways, I'm going to quickly take you on a tour of the Wendigo, starting with how they differ externally. Then I'm going to show you how they drive, and then what their lighting and engine sounds are like. Now, before I continue further, there are 4 different trims that you can get, and they all come in either a 4-door or 2-door Joey body style. Anyway, starting with the S trim, which is the teal and very dark blue one here, these both get a 3.2-liter VR6 as well as rear-wheel drive. It may not be immediately obvious, but these actually have pretty different front fascias than the rest of the trims. Compared to the S Premium here, you get a different bumper, a different fog light location, and it overall just has a more bare bones look to it. Anyway, moving on to the side here, you can even see that the orange reflector or turn signals are in different locations. Coming around the back, you can also see the vinyl tops that the S and S Premium trims have. On the back here, you can also see that the bumpers are different back here, as well as the fog light placement. Anyway, moving on to the purple and silver S Premium here, you most notably get all-wheel drive. Compared to the S Turbo, you still get the same rear bumpers, but they are not body colored. You also get a body colored top on all of the upper trims. Coming around the front here, the bumpers are shared with the S Turbo, except that they are flat plastic and not body colored. The S Turbo has this cool bump on the hood which displays the 4-liter turbo i6 that it houses. It seems to be based on the Bara engine that's in the Falcon XR6 Turbo. Anyway, moving on to the red and yellow X Turbos here, you get this bull bar which seems to be functionally cosmetic only since it is behind the bumper. You also get this nice sunroof visor with this really cool Wendigo X graphic on it. Besides the base S trim, every single trim has a sunroof. Anyways, you also get these roof rails which, oddly enough, sit over the removable top, which makes no sense at all, but I don't think it was on purpose. Anyway, moving around the back, there really aren't any differences from the S Turbo. You still get the same exact spare tire cover with the really cool Wendigo graphic that's on every single trim. Anyway, hopping into the S trim here, I can tell you right now that despite quite a few trims having quicker acceleration than this, they all drive pretty much the same way. Because these cars were spawned in for me and actually aren't a part of my garage, they're not my usual vehicle setting, so it's a little difficult to judge its driving characteristics since I'm not used to it. However, from what it seems, the Wendigo has pretty average handling, and they have the same exact handling and steering across all of the trims. Like most off-road oriented SUVs from this era, it's not made to have responsive steering at all, but it's relatively predictable and easy to drive. Maneuverability is pretty great as well. It has a fairly narrow turning radius for its size and age, and it seems like it would be a good pick for driving around roleplay servers. Braking seems to be pretty quick to respond here, but keep in mind that it is on instant mode, so if your braking intensity is slower like mine, then it will have pretty terrible brakes, which it's completely normal for something like this. Off-road capability in the S trim is not great at all, but the trims with all-wheel drive, and especially the S and X Turbo with the 4-liter i6 are pretty capable. Take a look. Now, moving on to the S Premium, I don't really have much to say about the other trims because they only really differ cosmetically, besides the quicker acceleration, of course. For $3,000 more, you get all-wheel drive and the sunroof, and that all-wheel drive actually does improve acceleration and capability just a tiny bit. Again, nothing more to talk about since it drives the exact same way, but that being said, these are surprisingly fun to drive for what they are. Since the S Turbo upgrades you to the 4-liter turbo i6, you get an even larger power boost. Acceleration is quite a bit quicker than the base model, but otherwise the tune is pretty similar. It's fun to throw around like the other trims, which sometimes you'll end up flipping it of course, but I think that just adds to the fun. The X Turbo is actually the only trim that doesn't have an acceleration boost compared to the cheaper ones. The tune is the exact same as the S Turbo, so what you're basically getting when you pay $3,000 extra is mainly external enhancements. Anyways, obviously none of the Wendigos have AEB or blind spot monitoring or anything like that, so now it's time for sounds and lighting. Now that that's over with, it's time for me to rate all trims of the Wendigos, display their known stats and their pricing, and then I'll tell you which one you should buy when they are added. And their ratings are here. Keep in mind that a 50% is average, so they all are pretty good cars, and you really can't go wrong with any of these trims. However, with the S Joey starting at only $5,000, it is the best value Wendigo considering it has decently quick acceleration and it drives the same as any other trim. My personal favorites are the S Turbo Joey and the X Turbo 4-door, but really I think you should just get whatever trim you think looks interesting because they are all very well made, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into this, and I swear that this will be the last unreleased SUV that I review for a while because I've only reviewed Bluezilla design crossovers at this point. I'll see you guys very soon. Later.